get to the latest on the weather situation with our meteorologist Marina Neuman. Marina, what's the latest situation this morning? Because we do know that the heaviest rain has been further north, out of the Taree area, but there's a chance of it coming back, and we've got some really saturated catchments. You know, they're very sensitive to further river rises.
Well, right now what we're seeing is that rainfall has begun to shift further south, which is great news because that means while Sydney is going to be seeing rainfall waking up this morning, we are looking at currently dry conditions further north. So what we're seeing right now, overnight, Yamba as well as Grafton, Coffs Harbour continued to see that heavy rainfall. Yamba recording 146 millimeters. This is just in really the last 12 hours. Now, Grafton recording 82 millimeters, Coffs Harbour 78 millimeters. Again, this isn't even the last 24 hours. This is really just the last 12 hours. So very heavy rainfall moving in overnight. But you can see where everything has really begun to shift further to the south. So that means Newcastle, Lake Macquarie, Mangrove Mountain, all starting to see that heavy and widespread rainfall. Mangrove Mountain so far seeing 46 millimeters, Mount Boyce 36 millimeters, and Richmond at 23 millimeters so far. So we do have several major flood warnings in place right now. You can see just how much red across this map, all the way from Coffs Harbour, all the way down to Newcastle. So we have major flood warnings for everything in red. That's the Hastings River, the Manning River, also for the Patterson River and the Williams River. But of course, we're going to keep you up to date with that severe weather warning that is in place right now, stretching from Coffs Harbour still to Newcastle. But a widespread look at just how much rainfall now moving into the interior, stretching well past Dubbo as well as Orange, and even all the way as far south as Canberra, starting to see rainfall this morning. And what we're seeing is this trough throughout the rest of the day, going to continue to stretch into the interior before pushing south. So that means that things do look to dry out across Lismore all the way down to Newcastle, and this takes us into our Friday evening. Now, Sydney's still going to be seeing some rainfall into Friday evening, but what looks to happen is that trough going to continue to push south, leaving everyone dry across New South Wales by Saturday morning. But that rainfall then is going to begin to push into Victoria as well as Tasmania. Now, in terms of total rainfall, what we're looking at is an additional at least 100 millimeters for Sydney as well as Batemans Bay. Then looking at about 75 to 50 millimeters for Canberra as well as Dubbo. And as far as that rainfall then pushing into Tasmania, well, what we're seeing there is going to be continued rainfall. This begins Friday, pushing through Canberra into Melbourne and then across the western half of Tasmania. That is going to be ahead of another cold front that then moves in, bringing additional rainfall across the region as we head into our Sunday as well as Monday. So rainfall totals there do look to see an additional about 50 millimeters moving into Victoria and Tasmania from this rainfall.
Okay, Marina, yeah, those westerly winds across New South Wales are going to be very welcome by the time we hit this weekend. Thanks very much. We'll check in with you again shortly.